Good morning, everyone. I can't see you all, but I'm really excited. You guys don't understand how excited I am to be in the church right now. Been on hiatus for 6 months, so I'm so happy to be here, even if it's virtually. My name is Hayley, and I will be leading our service with the help of some other women pulpit leaders this morning, Jen, Fonda, and Kristen. We are a community of diverse beliefs, stories, and lifestyles. Each of us is our own spiritual journeyer, yet we all coexist in the world. Whatever your beliefs, no matter your lifestyle and story, however you feel inside at this moment, you are safe and welcome here. Thank you for being online with us today. Your presence means that this church is doing its job, feeding your souls and making a positive impact in your lives, which in turn you give back to the world. As the daylight becomes shorter, nights become colder, and we hunker down in our homes to ward off COVID, please remember that Reverend Will Humphrey is available for pastoral care. His contact information will be posted in the comments below. Today's birthdays are Carol Barnhart, Jenna Hicks, and Eric Sargent. So happy birthday to you three. Let us open our hearts and minds with our prelude, Come with Thanksgiving.
Please join me at home in lighting a chalice to create sacred space for worship, prayer, meditation, and song. History is not destiny. It is a reminder of the gifts and strengths of our ancestors. We choose to study and honor with convictions of those who came before us. With this flame, we honor our roots, even as we spread our branches high and wide across the sky.
Thank you, Jen. As a spiritual community, it is our deepest intention to be authentically present to one another, especially in times of challenge and times of joy. One way we do this is by pausing during the service to honor the personal and communal milestones in our lives. If you would like to share a joy or concern, please do so in the chat box below. Our affirmation today is an adapted excerpt from actress-musician Janelle Monáe's 2017 Women's March speech. Women will not be hidden no more. We will not remain hidden figures. We have names. It was woman who birthed this nation. It was a woman that gave you Martin Luther King Jr. It was a woman that gave you Malcolm X. And according to the Bible, it was a woman that gave you Jesus. Don't you ever forget it. We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this, and we commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and hope. Our meditation today will be from Fonda.
Let us take this time to relax. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, soften the space between your ears. Our meditation today comes from the first woman to win the Pulitzer Prize in Literature, Edith Wharton. I have sometimes thought that a woman's nature is like a great house full of rooms. There is the hall, through which everyone passes, going in and out, the drawing room, where one receives formal visits, the sitting room, where the members of the family come and go as they list. But beyond that, far beyond, are the other rooms, the handles of whose doors perhaps are never turned. No one knows the way to them. No one knows whither they lead. And in the innermost room, the Holy of Holies, the soul sits alone and waits for a footstep that never comes. Spend a moment now in the silence as you find that place within you that is the Holy of Holies. May it be so.
You guys have the joy of having me as a speaker today as well. And my topic is called HERstory in the Making, Shattering the Glass Ceiling in 2020 and Beyond. Women have been trained to speak softly and carry a lipstick. Those days are over. That's a quote from Bella Abzug, an activist, feminist, and a retired congresswoman. 100 years after women obtained the right to vote, finally, we see a woman vice president-elect. A woman who is actually the only Black female congresswoman in the Senate. She's also only one of 3 Black senators out of 100, but that's a subject for another day. Currently, 26 women serve in the Senate out of 100. 101 women serve in the House out of 435. Yet, this country's population is 51% female. Women are grossly misrepresented. They are often overlooked, underpaid, underappreciated, and not taken seriously. Oftentimes, if a woman is assertive, in charge, outspoken, they are viewed as aggressive, abrasive, off-putting, bossy, or more commonly, the other B word. This has to change. Feminist G.D. Anderson says it best. Feminism isn't about making women stronger. Women are already strong. It is about changing the way the world perceives that strength. The road to gender equality has been long. Although the 19th Amendment was ratified 100 years ago, really only white women benefited from this. Black women were kept from the polls by means of poll taxes, literacy tests, grandfather clauses, violence, and lynching. It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that Black women finally had a voice. And it wasn't until 1952 that Asian Americans had a voice to vote. 1947 for Native Americans. And still today we see gerrymandering and ID requirements failing our neighbors. But I do feel the future is bright. This past election has me inspired, not just because Kamala Harris was elected as vice president-elect, but listen to some of the awesome things that happened this past election. Cori Bush was Missouri's first Black congresswoman. New Mexico has the first state to elect an all women of color into their House. Yvette Herrell was the first representative Native American in Congress. Kesha Ream is the first woman of color in the Vermont Senate. Sarah McBride is the first openly trans senator. Stephanie Byers is the first Native American in state legislation in Kansas. Marilyn Strickland is the first Korean American in Congress. Taylor Small is the first openly trans person in the Vermont state legislature. Marie Turner is the first non-binary person in legislation ever. And we have a record number of Republican women being elected to Congress. There's so much to be excited about with diversity, for women, for the LGBTQ plus community. I'm so excited. The representation is caliber. It's so important for our children, especially our young girls, to see all over the world that women, there's someone that they can look up to. And how can we help? How can we help women move to the next step. We can encourage our women that have those leadership capabilities to run for Congress. There's actually websites, one called sheruns.org, that helps women, gives the women the tools that they need to start running for elections in the state, local, federal level. Encourage your young daughters to be in student government. Raise strong women or strong girls. Empower them. There's nothing wrong with telling your child that they can be anything that they want to be. And raise your boys to understand that girls can do just as much as boys can. I always think about that Dove commercial. It always gets me teary-eyed, where they ask, run like a girl or play like a girl, and these girls are doing things so wholeheartedly, and then the boys have these perceptions that these girly things that they're doing. So please raise your children for equality. This group of people that are coming in on top of the 2018 group of congresswomen that came in are going to change the world. Women, when women first got into the office, they're the ones who fought for socialistic ideals, for welfare for people. It's only going to get better. And then I just ask, we look into the private sector. Find the women out there, hire your women, listen to them. They have great things to say. And in the government world, vote for women. Be it you're Republican or Democrat or independent or green or libertarian, a vote for a woman is a vote for all women, regardless of their political party. So that's just something, I had. It's short and sweet, but I was really excited about what was coming out of, our elections this year with how polarizing everything is. But it's a huge win for women and for the LGBTQ community. I'm really excited to see what, the future holds, and, what I can raise my children and we can raise our children to know what this is, what equality looks like, and this is what normalcy looks like, and everybody has a chance to be whatever they want to be. Kristen will close for us today.
We have a calling in this world. We are called to honor diversity, to respect differences with dignity, and to challenge those who would forbid it. We are a people of a wide path. Let us be wide in affection and go our way in peace. Thank you all for joining us today. Please join us in listening to the trio one last time.